just ignore the mouse tail sticking out of Baba Cook's mouth.
Hey, what's up creatures? It's Em and I'm back today with another video for you. Today's video is all about walking your pet birds. The topic of walking birds is super diverse and it's impossible to cover absolutely everything for every species. So I'm going to be covering what I do for the species I keep here at home, but trying to adjust it a bit for all of you parrot keepers out there who might also be interested in walking your birds. If you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button down below, become part of the creature crew, and also hit that notification bell down in the corner there so you don't miss a single upload. Walking your pet birds can be a fantastic way to give your birds fresh air and enrichment. As every bird is different, it's up to you as the owner to do the species appropriate research required to ensure safe and stress-free outdoor experiences for your bird. Today, I'll be sharing with you some of my tips and methods in this video, as well as referencing some other videos which you can check out to help you with more specific bird walking topics. Joining me today in this video is Baba Cook, the laughing kookaburra, and also my red-billed hornbill Grinchy. Before we get started, I just want to say you are not a bad bird owner if you don't take your bird outside on walks. This is something that I like to do because my birds are used to it and I was able to train them to be able to go outside and enjoy being outside. Not all birds will enjoy being outside. Some feel very threatened, very exposed, and if your bird just does not like it or you can't get them used to the harness, think about maybe investing in a flight cage outside instead to keep them secure, but also give them ability to soak up those UV rays. This video is not going to be covering the topic of free flight. Free flight is when you physically allow your bird to fly free and then it should theoretically come back to you if you have a good enough bond and if that sort of behavior is reinforced. I don't personally do this with my birds. We have a lot of raptors where I live, so it's just not safe for me to free fly my birds who would become kookaburra or hornbill nuggets very, very quickly for our local hawks, which already tried to get into the house. Yo, stop trying to eat my Grinchy. Go away. Dude, Grinchy is not food. How dare you? The most important thing you need to think about when walking your bird is making sure you have the appropriate tools. If you don't have the right tools or equipment and your bird decides to bait or fly off, then you might not be able to get them back. So for Baba Cook, what I have is he has these anklets. Let me show you what the anklets look like. It's kind of hard to see underneath his feathers over here, but can you see that little brown ring that's there? That there is what's known as an anklet. The anklet is actually made of a very, very soft kangaroo leather, and it's also maintained using a special beeswax formula to keep it nice and supple. Now attached to these anklets are what are known as jesses. These jesses are also made of kangaroo leather, but you can get them synthetic as well, and they have these little slits down here. What many falconers use when it comes to attaching their jesses together is they actually use something called a swivel. I personally don't see any use for a swivel with my birds. Instead, what I do when I'm going to take them out for a walk is very simply a lead or a leash. Lead, leash, leash. Do you say lead or leash? Let me know in the comment section below. But when I'm outdoors, I don't just hold the leash like this. For extra security, I actually put my fingers around the jesses and I make sure that the bird is very, very well manned. The reason why I hold the jesses here and not just the lead is because if Baba Cook baits, or rather if he jumps off of my hand or flaps, it gives him less cord to actually fly away, pull, and then potentially hurt his legs. Baba Cook is a kingfisher and kingfishers have fairly delicate feet, so the last thing I want to do is to have him putting any strain on those feet. So if he does jump, he doesn't go very, very far. The way that I'm holding Cook right now is literally the way that I would have him outside. I have the leash attached to my hand, which I hold down here, and I also have Baba Cook being held by the jesses in my hand on this side.
Cook, if you ever see red balloons in the drains, you leave them alone. Understand?
My assumption for those of you who are watching is that you are thinking of walking your various species of parrots. If you're thinking about walking a pet parrot, brilliant, because parrots love to have that mental stimulation that comes with being outdoors. But for parrots, I do not recommend the equipment that I personally use. For my birds, I prefer to use falconry equipment, but falconry equipment is not suitable for many parrots. The reason why it's not suitable for many parrots is because parrots have very dexterous beaks and they can very easily pull off or damage the equipment, which then makes it unsafe to walk them using that equipment. For walking pet parrots, all the way from the beautiful macaws all the way down to something smaller like a cockatoo, I fully recommend investing in parrot harnesses. Yes, just as you would have for a dog, a cat, a rabbit, or even a ferret, you can get bird-specific harnesses. Putting the harness onto your parrot comes from trust building. If you are just about to get a parrot or you have a young parrot, this is a fantastic time to start getting your bird used to the thought of actually putting a harness on. Lots of positive reinforcement. Do not just stick your bird into a harness, because if you do that and they're afraid, all they're going to think every time they see a harness is scariness. If you force or push your bird, especially the really intelligent birds like parrots, to wear something that they're not comfortable with and not really desensitized to and used to, you could actually be reinforcing the thought that putting this on means something bad. So you want to get them used to their harnesses as young as possible by doing frequent, short, positive reinforcement training sessions. To help you with this, I'm going to link a fantastic video down in the comments section below. Personally, before I head outside with my birds, I think about number one, the temperature. Is it temperature appropriate for my birds to be outdoors? You really don't want to either overheat your bird or stress them with the cold, because this can really be detrimental to a bird. So before you head outside, think about the wind chill, the temperature, the weather. Some birds do not like getting wet, so it's probably not best to take out a kookaburra during a rainstorm. Macaws, however, might love it. Next, you want to plan your route in advance. I try to choose the routes with the fewest dog walkers possible. I personally know that I have my bird well under control when I'm outside, but that's not to say that everybody else has their pets under control. So I tend to walk with Baba Cook and Grinchy whenever I know there aren't any dog walkers around. If I do see a dog walker or someone walking their dog, I switch my route pretty quickly. Okay, this might be a little bit mean of me, but I also choose to walk at times of days or on days when I know that everybody's at work. I kind of keep an eye on the neighborhood. I know kind of who goes to work at what time, and typically everyone seems to go to work at the same time, leaving me free to walk my birds. The reason I do this is because although I love my birds, I'm very proud of them, and everyone here knows them, loves them, and comes to visit them, I don't necessarily want them to be flooded whenever they're going outside. So I just make sure that when I'm going to go outside, it's a nice, clear day. Not just clear in terms of weather, but of humans as well. That's a mood. So, just me and the birds, and that's all I need. Nobody else. Everybody else can go away. If you live in a city, think about pollution. If you're going to be walking during rush hour, I would not recommend it, because there is a ton of pollution in the air which you might not be able to detect, or which you're completely nose blind to, but believe me, your bird can tell it's there. So if it's rush hour, I would fully suggest staying indoors until it's not rush hour, or a really great time to walk if it's temperature appropriate is straight after it's rained, because the rain takes away so much pollutant in the air that it's a wonderful time to get outside with your bird.
This is called snow. You probably wouldn't have seen it in Africa. Do you want to look at it? Witness it. Enjoy it? Good. We have witnessed snow. Grinchy, this is your stop sign. Let us all stop and marvel at my beautiful bird. Are you marveling? Make sure you marvel him properly. He is quite a marvel. Do you want to touch the stop sign? You'll be the first red-bill hornbill in the world to have touched a stop sign. I know, look at that body language. He's like, nope, not doing it.
Remember, birds can very easily stress, and stress can kill a bird. So you want to definitely make sure that when you start going outside, you start off by having a very small amount of time outside, literally maybe 2 or 3 minutes, make it a positive one, feed some treats, come back in, and then do it again tomorrow for 5 minutes, then the following day perhaps for 10 minutes. Gradually build it up, making it a fun, positive, happy experience for your bird. So small, gradual steps, building up your time outdoors, and lots of affection and positive reinforcement is the way forward. Another thing to bear in mind is that all birds are completely different in their tolerance levels. For Grinchy, a 5-minute walk is all that he will need, and it's all that he really feels comfortable with at this point. Baba Cook could happily stay out all day. So it's also important to remember that if you're going to go out, it might be better just to take your birds one at a time if your birds do not have the same feelings. Step up. if your birds do not have the same feelings as each other when it comes to the length of time which they like to walk. Oh yeah, something else that I think is pretty important that you should know about, but it could also just be me being a little bit extra with my birds because my birds are my babies no matter how much they actually hate me. I don't allow my birds off of my hands when we're outdoors walking. The reason why I do this is number one, so that I have full control of them at all time, but because birds are wonderful at spreading and picking up disease from one another. So I don't allow Babacook or Grinchy to actually play in any leaf litter. I know, I'm just mean like that because I want to protect you, my darling. So I don't actually let them play in anything that could potentially have been exposed to bird fecal matter. That's just me being a little bit extra. I personally... What, darling? What? You want food? It's on the floor, sweetheart, look. You literally dropped it. You said that you didn't want it. You're gonna eat it now? You don't... No, see, that's it. You had your chance. You had your chance. And it fell in your poo. It literally fell in your poo. You can't eat it now. You dropped your snack, it fell in poop. I hope you're happy with yourself. He's happy with himself. He's always happy with himself. Wedgie! Also, I'm very well aware of how awesome falconry equipment is, but again, it's not suitable for all birds. In fact, some experts would argue that neither the hornbill nor the kookaburra are suited to having jessies because they have very delicate feet. But I don't allow my birds to bait, and I've so far not had any problems, touch wood, because they're also removable. So at no point do Babacook and Grinchy just always have their jessies on. It's only when I'm going to film with them or if we're going to go for a walk. So again, if you're going to be using falconry equipment, remember not all birds should have their jessies on all the time. It can cause them to get snagged and dangle from branches, and they are not suitable for most parrots. In fact, probably not suitable for any parrot. So I fully, highly and heartily recommend bird harnesses, which you can actually find on Etsy. Not sponsored by Etsy, but I should be. Seriously, Cook, the amount of money I spent on Etsy last year is not funny at all. Oh yes, and I might also be being a bit extra again, but I'm a panicked pet mother, and what I do with my birds is that none of them actually share leads or jessies or anklets or anything actually apart from my love. Everybody has their own leash set, everybody has their own jessies and anklets or even harnesses for my other animals. Nobody shares, everybody gets their own. The reason why this is because I just don't want to have any spreads of bacteria between my animals. My animals don't generally live together, with the exception of Dobby and Niffler, my two ferrets. They do sometimes share leads, but they live together. Oh, I see a Niffler. Nerf! Nerf! Hi, Nerf. Oh, Niff. Niff's so sleepy, look at him. He's like, I smell you, but I can't see you. Grinchy's always been fascinated with the ferrets. I think they must remind him of mongoose back home. Mongooses, rather. Hey! Oh, I see a Dobby. Hi, Dobby. Niff, you're so blind. If you are just getting started on your bird walking adventure, then don't worry, we all have to start somewhere. So if you have a question, no matter how silly you think it is, leave a comment in the comment section below, and either myself or someone else who keeps that species of bird or who has relative experience will try and get back to you and help you out. Remember, everyone started somewhere, and the best way to learn is to ask questions. Speaking about learning, I highly recommend that if you are interested in walking your birds, trying to find a Facebook group. Okay, I know Facebook is a little bit of a dead social media for a lot of you who are watching. Not for me, I personally love Facebook, but hey, I'm old. But seriously, Facebook groups are the place to learn so much about individual species of animals. So if you keep a species of bird, definitely go and check out different Facebook groups that you can find and ask people questions. People on the Facebook groups are usually really nice. I know, it's the internet, but people are nice. Go figure. Isn't that amazing? If you have any hints or tips of your own to share, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you in another video soon. Bye!